Hello, and welcome to Why I Love Warhammer, the series where I go into an unscripted ramble regarding why I love something in this hobby. And on this episode, it's the Blood Angels, the second most poster boy for the Imperium. So, I have a Blood Angels army that I traded a 3D printer for. Glorious army. Uh, and I think, why I love them, it's mostly their lore. I enjoy the fact that their Primarch is basically Space Jesus. He is just he's the greatest of fighters, the most amazing diplomat. Everyone loves him. Khorne wanted him to be his champion. He's generally he's just really well liked, and I like how that translates down. So I'm gonna come back to Commander Dante, but stuff like the portrayal of the Blood Angels in that Angels of Death series on Warhammer Plus, I thought was very it was very complimentary to them. And then there's some story which starts with they shall know no fear, and it's this one sanguinary guard who's kind of on this dying set of meteorites, and Tyranids are everywhere. And it ends with they say they know no fear, they were right. Just so cool and so badass for the for the Blood Angels to be that way. The red and gold aesthetic as well, I think, works really well. It makes the Custodians look brilliant, and I think it blends very well. It contrasts very well against the Ultramarines being very blue to have something very red. So let's go into some of the models, because I think that some of my favourite things about the Blood Angels are related to their models, and I can talk about more of their lore as the models come up. So let's start with Commander Dante. From a lore perspective, I think it's fascinating this guy's just been around for so long that he just wants to be done. He's got millennial ennui, as it were. But his fight is never done. He thinks he's gonna end, and he's brought back. He crossed the Rubicon Primaris and he's got a whole new life ahead of him. But he's been around for so long. The fact that he's also kind of regent of the Imperium, that named tip top by Gilliman before Lionel Johnson came back, I think speaks to his character. But what I also love with Dante, and this is me as a Necron fan talking here, is that story where Dante meets the Silent King, and the Silent King wants to honour the pact he would have made with Sanguinius himself, and the Silent King has a death mask of Sanguinius, and that ability to cooperate with a Xenos faction, I think, speaks very highly of Dante and the Blood Angels, and I think that just really kind of demonstrates who they are, and Dante just exemplifies that so well, and he's got a cool jump back as well. I like the model. He wields a one-handed axe. I love the Imperial axes, and that gun is a cool one as well. The armor looks really cool. I like, it's just a cool looking model, and I love his lore and I love his stories. Okay, this guy I think is really cool. I like the fact he's just holding a goblet, just drinking on the job. I know he's not, but I just think that's really cool. He's a kind of cleric-looking guy, and he wields a chainsaw. A chainsword that looks more like a sword than a chainsaw, which I think is really cool. I've got this model in my cabinet, which is behind the green screen, and I just think he looks really cool. A very cleric type thing. Okay, Mephiston. I think it's a really cool model. He's got the vampire fangs going on, and that's something I really like with the Blood Angels as well. And I wanted to wait for Mephiston to be able to talk about it, which is the kind of between the Black Rage and the thirsting for blood. The Blood Angels are vampires. I think that doesn't get talked about enough. The fact that they do drink blood, and Mephiston really shows that he really carries it all the way through. The fact that they do consume blood, and yeah, part of me thinks that it was just because they needed a weakness for the faction because Sanguinius was too perfect. But I think that it is fascinating that these guys are vampires, and vampires are cool. Um, and yeah, Mephiston really exemplifies that. He's got the full vampire hood, made of metal, but he's got it there. So really love Mephiston for that as well. Be interesting to have the Garlic Marines to fight these guys off, but yeah, Mephiston's really cool for that as well. The other thing, which is the Black Rage, so that when a Blood Angel is under sufficient duress, sufficient stress, rather than doing what I do, where they crumble into a mess, they start seeing Horus everywhere, go kill crazy, and just start shooting everything. And yeah, so the Blood Angels have that as a weakness as well. I think that's really interesting. Adds a bit of depth that kind of means that they need to keep control a lot more. The Space Marines as a whole are very kind of monk-like, and I think that stoicism being necessary for the Blood Angels to not lose themselves adds depth to them, adds a little bit more to them. They're not just Space Marines. They have specific things to them that mean they need to be stoic, because if they're not stoic, they lose their souls. And yeah, so important to have that extra level of depth so you can really connect with your faction. And so yeah, Mephiston I think really brings that out. The Black Rage and being a vampire. The Marty's stuck for a good chaplain. Look at the gun, look at the skull head, look at the club of religion. I think it's really cool. I like his skeletal appearance. I always like that with the chaplains, the fact that they've got a very skeletal appearance. This guy's got the jump pack as well. Glorious. Glorious model. Glorious faction. Sanguinius. I like this guy. The scrolls make him look very floaty, like he is flying. Looks very floaty. Love the sword. Love the goblet. I'm a sucker for red and gold armor as a color scheme. Just a phenomenal model. Just so belongs in the range. Looks really divine. I mean, if I were building one from scratch, I might file off the armor nipples, but otherwise, glorious model. Love the shoulder pads, love that trim, love the red highlights, the full wings. The really brings home the angels half of the faction, Blood Angels. This guy again, Black Rage and Vampirism. The black wings, glorious. Purity seals out the wazoo. What a model! I've got this guy as well, though I think my one has white wings rather than black wings, but just glorious. And the armor makes it look like exposed muscle tissue, which makes him a bit scarier to me. And the Space Marines, they are frequently the protagonists, but they are scary. Like, if you meet a Space Marine, if you were to meet a real Space Marine, it's kind of 11, 12 foot tall super soldier that spits acid, has an extra heart, has raised from childhood to be a soldier who knows no fear. It's scary. And so this guy having the thing to skeeve me personally out a bit more makes him a bit scarier, and I think that's really good for the faction, really good for the model. Love this guy. So happy he's in the range. He's peak Warhammer, and it's always nice when they wield an axe like that. I think axes are cool. Sanguinary Guard. See my thoughts on the Sanguinor, but these guys, you can have more of them. Cool weapons, cool armor, glorious looking models. Also, I do like the banners. I'm terrible at painting banners, so if I see a banner that's been painted well, it's so glorious. Like, so much time gets put into them. Blood Angel's Chaplain, glorious. Skullhead, gun. The smashy stick of faith, and these wings, glorious. Also, this guy's got more of the red. I like the red and gold colour scheme a lot, and for the Blood Angels, I like it. It leans more to the red side for a lot of them. Terminators, again, focus on the melee. Uh, this front guy's got more of the kind of the vampire teeth, which adds a bit more to it. It's kind of classic Terminator sculpt, and I love the lightning claws. There's something so powerful looking about them. The fact, and these ones, they're holding them more like they're knuckle dusters. Um, so they get their fists clenched and they're just slashing everything in front of them. That's really cool to me. So metal, and they've got the shoulder shields, which I always like because I'm a Knights player, a Chaos Knights player as well. Um, the dreadnoughts, love dreadnoughts. I love the concept behind dreadnoughts. These kind of walking coffins that give a dead marine one last chance to serve. These ancient machines that are being piloted. I love dreadnoughts. I think this one's really cool as well. The full blood angels, the book here, the weapons are glorious. The kind of this gun, the gun hand with two guns, this kind of slashy weapon here, the fists. These fingers are deadly in themselves. Just what a machine! What a glorious model to have in your army. And the basing is done for you. You stick it on this rock, and you're gold. Phenomenal. I can't not love a dreadnought. Yeah, and again, same here. You know, more Blood Angels y with the kind of the Blood Angels color scheme here for the coffin. Just a glorious, phenomenal looking model. Same again. Need I say more? Need I say more? Dreadnoughts are amazing, and the Blood Angels ones have all the brilliantness of the Blood Angels with all the brilliantness of Dreadnoughts. Brilliant squared. I don't know what brilliant squared is, um, but whatever brilliant squared is a Blood Angels Dreadnought. Classic characters again. Love the color scheme for the Blood Angels as well. I think just it stands out so well, and it just makes them look really cool. Again, the red and gold and black here makes them stand out. I love that knife. That's a really sneaky looking knife. It's like the ending of Gladiator, where the guy pulls a knife out at the last moment for a dishonorable victory. I just think it looks really cool to have a knife like that. Baal Predator, got one of these. I think this is a really cool tank. Classic tank. It's stocky. It's got the Rhino chassis, flaming on one side, turret at the top with a guy with another turret gun, just stacking weaponry upon weaponry upon weaponry. Glorious. Okay, Horus Heresy models. Again, this guy's got demon arm on the base. He just looks really cool. He's wiping his gun clean, like honorable combat. It's just really cool. I think Heresy era models I think look really cool. Generally, there's a lot of detail on them. I love the diorama bases. And I also like comparing the pre and post Heresy colour schemes, which is more of a thing for the traitor factions. But the fact that Blood Angels kept that consistent, I really enjoy. Okay, final one here, Sanguinius himself. I've got an older Sanguinius without, which isn't flying down like that, but he's still got the wings. I think that it's just a really cool looking model. I think Sanguinius is. You can never call Sanguinius an underrated character because he gets all the love. But I don't think Sanguinius could ever be an overrated character because he is really cool. He is brilliant. His final battle with Horus at the end of the Heresy, the slaying of Sanguinius is what then caused the Emperor to fight Horus, which puts him in the chair. Sanguinius was so instrumental story-wise for the entire setting of Warhammer 40,000 that he deserves to be as brilliant as he is. And the more brilliant you make Sanguinius out to be in the lore of Warhammer, the more important his death becomes at the end of the Heresy. Because the better Sanguinius is, the more the Imperium lost when he was slain. And the more powerful Horus is in comparison. Sanguinius is just so important for the entire setting. He's so important for the Blood Angels. And it's no wonder he's such a well-loved character, because he deserves every ounce of that love. So that's why I love Blade Angels. I think they're an amazing faction with an important place in the universe. They stand out well, and they've got an amazing range to them. So I'm going to say comment question of the day. Which army do you, which Space Marine faction do you think stands out the most on a battlefield? And I'm going to specify Space Marine faction here to deliberately exclude Grey Knights and Custodies. Pure Space Marines that follow a Space Marines that, at one point followed a Primarch. Which one do you think stands out the most? Thank you very much for watching. If you want to drop me a like, if you want to drop this video a like, it'd be really appreciated. If you want to drop me a subscribe, brilliant as well. Love to have you aboard for more relentless positivity. And I've got a Patreon in the description if you want to check that out as well. If you want to check out any more of my other videos, I'll link a playlist in the end card. And yeah, really great having you aboard. And until next time, I hope you have a really good day.